Mini Jake, the tribe has spoken.
Fuck you, Kevin.
Aw, fuck you too, sweetie.
I'm JJ, one of the original Tribe of Nerds members. You can catch me on Marvel, Pokemon, and other gaming podcasts.
What up? It's Josh, resident superhero nerd, but I also dabble in the occasional super villain as well.
Some may know me as the Chaos Gremlin, but really I'm just Joe King.
Pikachu, use Volt Tackle! Good job, Pikachu!
On the Tribe of Nerds.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the Tribe of Nerds Survivor 1 through 50. Kevin and Adrian are here to join me for Survivor Pearl Islands, where we get the birth of the queen, we get the birth of one of the most popular players of all time and one of the most despised players of all time. So
this cast is so good.
Yeah.
So good. So many characters came out of this season.
Oh yeah, 1,000%. And like this season holds the test of time, stands the test of time 20 years later. Like it's insane.
It's still a good season to go back and rewatch.
Yeah, this is one where I'd be like, if you're not going to start with like Kagion, if you want to start with like more old school and like ease yourself into it, Pearl Islands is a great one to start with.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So yeah, let's jump right into it. So why did you guys want to discuss Pearl Islands?
For me, it was mostly just, it's my favorite old school season. It's one that like, I have the worst memory ever. And this is one that like, it sticks with me. I remember a lot of the details about it. Like I said, so many fun characters that came out of it. Good gameplay on top of it. Like sometimes there's fun characters, but you're like, what are you doing? Why are you making these moves? And I feel like Pearl Islands has a good mix of like fun characters, but also good gameplay. And then just Sandra's game is one of my favorite winning games. So
yeah, it's pretty solid. Kevin?
So fun fact, this was actually the first time that I had a correct winner pick. Because Sandra had some random thing in her profile that said, I think she was born in Connecticut.
Okay.
And I lived in Connecticut, so I was like, I'll pick her because she's from somewhere else, but like it said somewhere in her like online bio. And then she went on to win, and I was like, ha-ha! Success! Fun fact, Suri is also from Connecticut, so like I have picked two. Suri has one, but amazing players based on a stupid fact in their bio. This is also, I believe, the first season from when I was in college. So like I went to college, had like shitty college cable on my little TV that like didn't fit and took up too much space on my desk. And I forced everyone around me to watch Survivor every week. And it was amazing.
Yeah. I didn't watch this season until much later after I had gotten into the show.
You probably weren't even born yet. I was off at college. You probably weren't even born yet.
You were born. You were definitely born. Because I was
definitely
like
born.
14 or something.
I was like 7 or something. Yeah,
We said the same thing.
Basically, yeah. But I mean, this season just it strikes everything with me. You get these heroes, you get these villains, you get the heroes' downfall, you get the villains having a downfall. Like you get this great season, and like I really like most of this cast. There are a couple people where I'm just like, I don't really care about you. You annoy me, or you suck. But
even the ones who like kind of annoy me, they're still like I don't hate them. You know, like yeah. I didn't want them voted back into the game, or maybe I wanted them voted out after the merge. But like, I don't hate them. I wasn't like, nah!
Yeah, it's not like some more annoying people we'll talk about later on in 1 through 50. So.
Not like some other seasons.
Yeah. Oh, we'll get there. But yeah, so we do have our cast here, as we've already alluded to. We have our pirate theme, which is just a really cool theme to do. It's ironic Pirate Sarah isn't here to talk about this season.
I'm glad she's not here, that I don't have to put up with her, because she'd just be arguing nothing the whole time.
Exactly. But I mean, any thoughts on this pirate theme? Because the way they bake it into the season, I really, really love it.
I do too. I feel like it's a theme that could get like really tacky, or like cheesy really quickly.
Right.
But it's in every single thing that they do. Like it's in the challenges, it's in like the marooning, it's in the idols, like it's not idols, the immunity, whatever.
Yeah. And it's definitely like, so like we know like certain people like influence certain season themes, right? So like Heroes, Healers, and Hustlers was like influenced by some of the people like, oh well, these cast members kind of fit into this, and Brains Brown Beauty kind of did that. Like I think Dave vs. Goliath is another one they talked about. We're like, like, oh well, like this kind of works for that, so like we should make that the theme. But like this was clearly a theme that they had like thought about and prepared, and like it works. It works really well because of that.
Yeah.
I love everything about this, and like I think that's what makes this season so special as well, along with the cast, is just like they went all in. They didn't like abandon the theme halfway through. It's there the entire season, and there's seasons where they do abandon it halfway through. So like that's just so good for them. I wish they would do stuff like this again, but they probably never will again. So
I think every single season is unnecessary, but once in a while it can be fun. It's just, I don't know. It adds a fun element that I miss for sure. Watching it, I was like, oh, I want them to do this again.
I know. Yeah, I know. They could bring the pirate theme back in. I don't think anybody would be opposed. So, all right, yeah. So we get our starting tribes. We get Drake and Morgan, and right away Drake starts out really strong. Morgan is a complete disaster. So they are. I mean, we've had Mara Amu was a disaster tribe and Marquesas, but like this is like, I feel like this is even more of a disaster than they were. Like
this is it's such a disaster. And they only break their losing streak because Drake throws a challenge.
You're right. And they lose one of their strongest players.
It's just, I think it's like a perfect story. Like sometimes I think the disaster tribe is kind of like manipulated to be that way. Like these people just like on this Morgan tribe, just like some of them had a good brain for how to play the game, but had no idea what to do outside of that. Right? Like the water. Like the tide is coming in higher and higher, and they're putting logs on the beach to try to block the waves. Like
it was just one thing after another. Like it started with when they're in the village and like have to go get all of their supplies. Drake like had a plan. They were so organized. Like everybody kind of did their own thing, but like they came together and like communicated. Yes. The other tribe, Morgan, was just like free for all. Like yelling at each other.
Rhino runs by himself across the island, just like takes off, asks for a boat, and then goes, oh wait, I don't have the map or money. So I don't know where we're going, and even if I did know where we were going, I couldn't pay this person to get us there. But like, cool dude, you booked it across the island.
Austin tells the girls that all the men are just horny and they should just flash their boobs.
Yeah.
So then they can save money. Like
the first words he speaks to these women is to do that.
And like, I very much appreciate that Tawana is like thrown into this place out of nowhere. She's expecting a photo shoot that day. She is jumping off a boat and rowing into shore in her like nice clothes. And now she's in a place where she doesn't speak the language. I can understand the frustration, but you have Sandra just like wheeling and dealing in Spanish, like right here. And right here, you have Tawana like yelling in English, like "Give me back my money!"
Yeah. Oh, we're already in the village. Yeah. So let's just keep going with this. I mean, this village scene is just so much fun to just like them getting to barter for like supplies. It's like a reward challenge in itself, and it's completely up to you how like this first challenge goes for your tribe. And as we've been saying, the Morgan tribe just can't get it together. It is also funny, like. Yeah, they're marooned with the clothes on their backs. Nicole is literally wearing a dress. Like I can't even imagine.
I can't. They couldn't do that today. Like they couldn't do that today. Like, can you imagine can you imagine, right? Like you get onto Survivor, you're in like a nice outfit, but like it's not like you have to sleep in that. You have to like run challenges in that. You have to like just be in that all the time. Like that's all you get. If you get cold at night, you gotta tuck your arms into your tube top. Like I don't know what to tell you. Like I can't imagine that.
Yeah.
And then Austin sold the only clothes he had.
Yeah, sold his clothes and just had his underwear, but then it was like Hanes, like it was from the 5-pack that cost like $6.99. So like they're already loose and falling down by the
He
end
doesn't
of
have
the
a belt
first day.
anymore.
Yeah, sold the belt.
No, and this contributes to what happens to Austin quitting. Like this is why he quits, is he sells all his clothes. So like he does it to himself. Like let's just be honest here. Production
and they still had money to spend. That's the part that I like forgot happened until I rewatched it. At the end, they're like, "Oh, we still have money left." I was like, "So what were you doing the entire time you were in the village? Just like giving away your clothes when you had money to spend?" I just don't understand.
It's ridiculous.
It's like when we are mods for an online game and we have multiple tribes, right? And there's one tribe who we tell them the challenge, they jump on a call, they get organized, they make a plan, they practice together. And then you have another tribe that is just like, okay, cool. Do I have to do this tonight? Right? Like it's that where like for no reason, we had no idea this was going to happen. One tribe is got it and they are together, and one tribe does not got it.
Yeah.
True.
Well, we have to mention also Rupert stealing the shoes he stole for the Drake.
Rupert is like, I think this is a case where they want this person anyway, but then they realize like this person looks like a pirate. Like this person's gonna be great on the pirate season. And like Rupert looked around and was like, oh, it's a pirate season? And I'm here? Oh, okay. Let me be a pirate. And then he just does like Pirates Pillage. Oh, yes they do. Yes they do. Yes they do.
I'm gonna be doing the Rupert voice all episode. I guess I'm gonna be doing it for All Stars as well. So
I wish he came back again more than just All Stars. He's a fun one.
Yeah, I mean we will get him Heroes versus Villains and Blood versus Water as well. But
oh yeah,
well, Blood versus Water is like the only time he didn't go far, and that's just because he swapped places with Laura.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's always like, who wants to vote out Rupert?
Yeah. Well, apparently a lot of people later. But and then of course we got to talk about we mentioned Sandra. She does help them out a ton in the beginning with being able to speak Spanish.
And like getting them an entire barbecue.
Yes. Oh my god.
And the bowls that the food came in, that then they have like bowls to go collect water or whatever they're doing. Like the so Morgans are over there with like a water jug. And the Drakes have like a platter. Like a whole smorgasbord. And then they keep winning challenges and they have to steal, and they're like, I guess the only thing you have left is that one water jug. And they're like burying it. They're like, no, we don't. It's gone. We lost it.
So good.
It's really funny. And then of course we got to mention Johnny Fairplay. So we get our introduction to him getting drunk immediately at camp, and it's going to set up that we get this amazing villain for the season.
That is somebody, like there are people in the early days of reality TV who understood, I need to be a villain.
Yeah.
For whether it's for the entertainment, whether it's because like they're like, when we think about like, we know that producers like ask questions in a certain way to like get people to think certain things in confessionals and da da da. Like we know that happens.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like he knew like, if I am despicable, they will want to keep me. Like production want to keep me, and they will do everything they can to get the other people who want to keep me. And it's brilliant because we get him the whole season.
Yeah, there's villains we get, and then they don't last that long. But the fact we get Fairplay the entire time is great, and then he still has the downfall at the very end.
Yes,
so.
And
think to this day he's still one of the one of the biggest villains in Survivor history.
He was
absolutely.
he was
It's
in
not-
that show, The House of Villains. I don't watch House of Villains, but he was in House of Villains. Like, he's the villain.
Mm-hmm.
I remember being so mad at him at the time. It's funny now. I was so mad at him at the time.
Yeah.
As a grandma, I was so mad at him. How
And
dare you?
It's
How
kind of
dare you, sir.
ironic getting to talk to Fairplay in like recent years for us too. Like, it's very funny and ironic because I definitely remember at the time watching it and not liking Fairplay, and then I'm like, I've grown to like this guy, even though he's a villain, but like, you know.
No, but he's very much playing a character. He understands
Right.
he's playing a character, and he plays that character perfectly.
Oh yeah, he's playing a heel because he loves wrestling. A lot of his references, confessionals, and things are wrestling references. So like, he was absolutely playing it up for what he wanted to go in and be. So
yeah.
And then I think we should mention Andrew Savage as well, the other attorney from this season, obviously leads the Disaster Morgan tribe. And Andrew Savage is so funny, and like he is like the definition of like the honor integrity thumping leader. And just like, it's so funny because even some of the things Andrew says are pretty hypocritical. So it's so funny to watch him.
It's weird to me that he's Andrew, because like I've always thought of him as Savage. Like,
right.
I guess when he comes back, it just like he becomes Savage. But
Right.
this season, everyone refers to him as Andrew, and I was like, wow, I like would never think of him.
Yeah.
I don't know. He just is not one of those people who goes by his first name often.
I think
except in this season.
I think my favorite moment of him from the season, because he's definitely the leader of that group. He's definitely like the strongest character, like personality on that tribe. Yes. My favorite moment from him though is he's like tired, it's day whatever. They realize they're going to have to vote someone out. One of the outcasts is going to come back in. And he's like, Jeff has told them, meanwhile, when they come back in, they have immunity. And so he's like, whichever one of them comes back in, it's revolving door. They're going right back out. And Tawana has to look at him and be like, but they have immunity. And he goes, oh.
Yeah. It's so funny. We'll get there. There is some fun behind the scenes info involving Savage that I'll get to soon. But before we get to the first immunity challenge, I did want to bring up the first bit of behind the scenes. So Rupert actually, I don't know how long ago this was, but it must have been at least a decade ago. But he ended up on Survivor Israel as a reward. So that's a little tidbit. I've never watched Survivor Israel, but it's out there on the internet. You can look it up.
Interesting.
Well, is he like when Cochran was the reward for Debbie in Game Changers?
It was like the people won like him as like a reward to like catch them fish and everything. So it was like something like that. And supposedly he didn't even catch fish.
That man is a fishing machine. So I mean, good choice.
Yeah. What were you saying, Adrian?
I was just saying he does catch a lot of fish. So.
True. All right, and so we get our first immunity challenge, and this is the carrying the cannons, which this is one of my favorite challenges of all time. The fact that you have to like drag this cannon and then like reassemble it, disassemble it, like it's such a cool idea for a challenge, and like it leads to this amazing close finish between Drake and Morgan. And
I know the season.
Yeah.
I'm watching and I'm like, how does Drake pull this out? Like, they got behind and they just like muscled their way to the finish at the very end. Brilliant. And like, you can also like, I don't know. I feel like I watch it and like, now we have new era where they're just on the same beach. They're in the same place. And like, it is cool because you're able to set up these big challenges more easily. But like, you don't get this type of thing where like they found like a little trail in the woods. It's probably like a natural like animal path, and they were like, "Cool, we're gonna make 2 giant cannons go through here and race." So like we don't get that sort of thing anymore. So that was fun.
Yeah, Adrian, thoughts on this?
Yeah, I mean, the one thing that sticks out the most about that challenge to me is how half of them ended up naked. By the end of it.
I was gonna bring that up.
One thing I like noticed that I wanted to point out was Jeff says like, oh, this is the first, like people are getting naked, but didn't people do that during Amazon, or was it All Stars when they like took the clothes off for
Amazon? Jenna and Heidi got naked for for chocolate and peanut butter.
That's what I thought. And Jeff was like, this was a first. Like, I've never seen people get naked in a challenge. And I was like, I'm pretty sure they did last season.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was probably the first time that like it happened by accident, where like the clothes just kind of fell off.
Well,
maybe.
Well, they did take them off
because they took them off. Like, yeah. But like Austin's fell off just like.
Yeah,
because I feel like that's when they started losing, though. Is like they had such a huge lead, and then all of a sudden, like clothes were dropping, and they just fell behind.
Right. Speaking of behind, the funniest bit of editing is they add in the Chiron and say Morgan behind.
I didn't even notice that.
Yes, the Survivor editors were very cheeky on that one.
Cheeky.
Yes. But yes, so Drake does win the first immunity challenge, and we do get Morgan going to tribal council. Nicole, it seems like it's going to be Skinny Ryan going, and then Nicole decides to break everyone's trust by throwing Tawana under the bus and just completely throwing her own game in the fire, and Nicole is the first one voted out unanimously.
I think props to Tawana. I think Tawana, in watching like the early game, like she is good. She's a good player. She's just on like a terrible tribe, but like she was a really good player to be like, I'm sorry, she said my name. Okay,
yeah, she's gone.
Skinny Ryan, you sit yourself right there because you're not going anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Bye.
I felt kind of bad for Nicole though, because I feel like she was just trying to play the game. Like it wasn't even that big of a deal. They just made it into like, oh my god, she's after me. It's like she's just trying to play the game, and she just like immediately got thrown under the bus and was out.
Right.
I feel like she had the potential to maybe be a good player. Maybe. We didn't see a whole lot of it, but
I thought so too, and I feel like it's not just like Tawana goes after her, but like when you're on a tribe with Andrew Savage and he thinks you're like a scheming liar, then Andrew Savage is gonna like bump the honor and integrity and be like, you're a liar, so you have to go.
I won't have liars on my team.
So not shocking there, but the first boot rankings as they stand right now before we add Nicole in, it is Sonia at number 1, Deb at 2, Diane at 3, Peter Harkey and his holes at number 4, Pastor John Raymond at 5, and Ryan Aiken at 6. So it went down from Borneo to Amazon there.
Right,
yeah,
they're just
weird.
Order I noticed.
Yeah.
I feel like she might be higher on the list. Like I don't think she's going to 7th because I think like Ryan makes sense to be at the bottom because that's very forgettable. Like you said his name and I was like, oh yeah, that's right. Like was it Ryan? Was it Daniel? I don't remember. But like Nicole, I remember because she was in the tube top dress.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like because she's memorable, she'll be higher up.
Yeah. Adrian?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't do first boot rankings because, again, bad memory. I feel like I could maybe name 5 without looking at like lists. But like I said, I think Nicole like had potential to be a good player. We just didn't get to see a lot of it. But I think she had a brain in there. Maybe.
I agree.
I would guess that right now she'd be at like number 2, right? Like she's like Sonia's iconic for being the first.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like she's like the next after that as like memorable, like, oh no, she got stranded in that tube top dress. Like,
yeah,
she's memorable for that. That's what I would say.
I had her at 21st out of 57 first boots. So like I had her a decent ways up because I do think she had potential. Ironically, I had her one spot below Ryan, but I think I was also basing it off of that was a men versus women season. And maybe he does a bit better with women on his tribe, but maybe not. But in this case, yeah, I think Nicole had potential. Apparently, people did not think she had potential. She is number 6. She's just above Ryan Aiken. So.
Well, at least she's not in last. They put her below Deb and Diane
and John Raymond. Yeah,
John Raymond. Wild. That's wild.
I mean, whatever. I mean, justice for Nicole. I ranked you higher. I don't remember where I ranked you, but I ranked you higher.
Justice for Nicole. Yeah,
I mean, I have a soft spot for Peter and his holes for obvious reasons, but I would put Nicole maybe right below him, like 5, 4, 5. I don't know, middle of the pack.
You keep. There's fallen. There's first boots. I feel like I have her fairly high. She is. Yeah, I have her at 17.
Wow. Yeah, that's only a few spots higher than mine. So yeah, I mean, I feel like we're the ones who wanted to put her higher, and then other people just decided not to. So, oops. All right, well, let's get to the rest of the pre-merge, or at least like the highlights. So interesting tidbit here. Episode 2, there was apparently an unaired mutiny offer for Drake and Morgan, and some Drakes were going to mutiny apparently very early on, and Andrew Savage said, no, we'll vote you off right away if you mutiny over here, so they didn't do it. So
Who was going to mutiny?
I thought Drake would be the ones to mutiny because they were the tribe that had their shit together.
So here's the thing. They had their shit together, but they
Yeah.
did not get along.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Well, I don't know if the information I've heard is like mixed up, because it would make more sense for like Skinny Ryan or Lil to mutiny, but like I just like, well, Lil wouldn't because she's too loyal at that point, but like Skinny Ryan I feel like would have tried to, you know, well, I guess if he pulls Lil along then she would go. But
Right,
like,
I feel like he would only do it with Lil.
yeah.
Who would want to mutiny?
I believe
Michelle?
Sean and Michelle are like the
Oh,
rumors.
Sean and Michelle makes sense, yeah.
But also at that point, I think they thought they had like Fairplay and Burton, and like they thought that they had it in the bag. So I feel like, I don't know. I feel like maybe the mutiny offer rumor is maybe something that actually was offered a bit later on in the pre-merge.
I also wonder if it's something where like they offered it, nobody took it, and it wasn't so much they were going to do it, but they were just like, oh, like what's that? And then as soon as like they like said something, perked their ears up, then Savage was like, we'll vote you out right away. And it was just kind of like a joke moment, and they all laughed. Yeah. And then they were like, okay, well then we're not going to do it.
Yeah. Right. I'm jumping ahead a little bit, but I really liked the twist where like Rupert got to go to the other tribe's camp and he like lived with them. I feel like they should have done that more than once, because that was like kind of a cool dynamic pre-merge, where like you get to learn about the other tribe. Then he had the choice to like compete in the challenge with them or not, and he of course went back to his OGs. Yeah. But like I was like, they should have done this at least 2 or 3 times pre-merge.
Yeah, I mean, they did have like the thing where you would get to steal an item from the other tribe after a reward challenge win. So I did like that.
Yeah. It was really funny to watch them, because they were so apologetic when they came to that Morgan breach of like, oh, I'm really sorry. We're gonna you have 2 pots, so we're gonna take one of them. Yeah. And they were like, please don't. Please just let them go. And they're like, it's the rules, thanks. And then the time Sandra went.
Yes.
The time Sandra went, and they're all just like, I don't know, we ain't talking to you. And she's like, okay, cool. Well, I'm just going to politely take your tarp. And she starts taking the entire shelter apart to get the tarp. And she's like, no, you rest. No, I don't want, no, you don't have a lot to eat. You take a rest. I'll get the tarp down. I'll lay these all down so that you can put them back up easily. It's peak comedy. It's so good.
So good.
Yeah, I feel like my favorite visits are Sandra with the tarp, and then we'll get to Fairplay later, because then Savage calls him a pissant. But so speaking of Sandra, let's get to her. One of her big moments is I can get loud too, as she yells at Johnny.
I can get loud too.
So good.
Yeah, because Fairplay says he's a stronger swimmer than Sandra, but he was carrying Michelle's glasses in his like sock or whatever when they were swimming ashore, and so he was slower than Sandra. So, but it's just so funny to watch them fight, and then you get the iconic Fairplay confessional, which is even funnier in retrospect later on. Of like, I bet $1 million that she won't be the final one.
Yeah. It's like she definitely won't be Final 4 and absolutely not Final 1.
Yeah, there's a couple of, like, I think Sandra has the first confessional this season. There's a couple of things in there that, like, this is way before I was paying any sort of attention to, like, edit of, like, telling a story of who's going to be a winner. I'm just watching it to watch it and enjoy it. And watching that, I was like, they dropped a couple of little hints there that what was going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's fun rewatching it, knowing what's going to happen, and like picking up on those tidbits that you missed the first time, obviously.
Yeah.
Because you don't know who's won.
Yeah, that's what I love about doing these rewatches is like, you pick up on so much. So, all right. So then we are going to get to our big strategic moment here with throwing the challenge. We've had a couple of challenge throws in Survivor history. Ethan's was successful in Africa to get rid of Silas at the swap. Thailand, it was unsuccessful because Sukjai then deteriorated over time. This is another unsuccessful challenge throw because it loses Drake all their momentum. And so Burton goes to Rupert in the middle of the night, says, let's throw a challenge, let's stick Strawn together. And Rupert says, if this was a pirate culture, he'd already be dead.
We'd already kill all of them, right? Like he is having none of it.
Yeah.
I love the Rupert impression.
Yes, I will keep it up for every season that we have Rupert. So. But yeah, so obviously Rupert is like, I'm not gonna, I don't want to throw the challenge, but I'll let Burton do what he wants to do.
It's funny to me. It was funny to me to watch. Like, they so clearly threw that challenge, right? Because they left their biggest guys to sit out, and they had like Michelle and Fairplay and Sandra doing it, like doing a physical, like fighting challenge. And they were surprised later. Like, the Morgans were like, no, you didn't throw that. We won that fair and square. And it was like,
that's what causes Savage to call Fairplay a pissant, because Fairplay like, rubs it in his face.
I was like, how desperate for a win were you that you thought that you, like, earned that?
Yeah, it was so obvious that it was a throw. I mean, you even get the camera shots over, like, Burton smirking over in the boat, like, as his plan, he thinks, goes off without a hitch. But
so many hitches, Burton.
Yeah, I really like Burton, and we'll talk more about him in the post-merge, but then it does turn around on him.
I love a piece of man candy, so I also love Burton. Burton, Sean, Austin, Andrew Savage, Rhino. Love them all.
All of them.
Yeah.
This is the perfect season for Kevin. So the challenge throw does happen. Rupert gets kidnapped, so he has no part in this vote, although, I mean, he was in on the discussion, so obviously I'm sure he would have gone on along with the plan at the tribal council. But it comes down to what Fairplay wants to do. We get to tribal council. Fairplay is wasted. This begins Jeff Probst's hatred of Fairplay, where he asks Fairplay if he's loaded, and he's like, yeah. Oh my god.
You have to know yourself really well to know you can get drunk on, like, no food.
Yeah.
And maintain your character.
Right.
Well done. 10s across the board.
Yeah. It's so funny. So funny. So, so Burton is going to get blindsided. Fairplay is going to rope Sean into it somehow. Even though they hate each other, somehow Sean is going to listen to Fairplay, which is just so wild. And Fairplay, even when he votes for Burton, he writes down Burton Ernie. So good. But any thoughts on this the first Burton blindside of the season?
I mean, it's fun. It's fun to watch somebody so confidently throw a challenge because they're going to get somebody out who they want out, and then they get out. Right. Every time that happens, it's always funny.
Mm-hmm.
Agreed. Adrian, any thoughts on this?
No, nothing new to add. I disagree.
Yeah. All right, so we'll skip ahead now to another blindside. Drake continues losing all their momentum, and Rupert does find his little snake Balboa. So
listen, I'm not trusting a snake that I find. No. I will. Production, can you please help this animal? Because I'm not touching it. But, like, adorable that he's one of those people who just, like, sees a hurt creature and wants to help it. I'm like, oh, so pure.
Yeah. That whole episode was like, the animal episode is what I wrote down, because it was when Balboa died, and then the Pelican Pete makes an appearance, and then Austin's afraid of it, and we get the iconic quote that was like, if you're afraid of the jungle and afraid of birds and afraid of the sea, why are you even here? Because Austin just every episode something else comes up that he's afraid of.
Austin being legitimately fear of the pelican is so funny to me. So funny because so I live in Florida, if you've ever been to Florida on vacation, you have probably noticed that there are little lizards that are like this long everywhere. Everywhere. They're on the house, they're on the windows, they're on the screens, they're on your car, they get into the house, they're under your toaster, they're everywhere, okay? It's just like a part of life. So when I meet people who are terrified, like I have people call me and be like, I have a lizard in my classroom, can you come catch it and get it out of here? And I'm like, what have you done for your entire life living in Florida? It's very that sort of moment of like, sir, you are on a beach, like not a public beach, you are on an island. Like, what did you think was going to be here?
He's just afraid of everything. I'm like,
it's so funny.
Yeah.
Be on Survivor.
Right. And then he threatens to chop Pelican Pete's head off at one point. Like, geez.
Yeah.
I know. It got to the point where I was like, I need the rest of the tribe to go protect the pelican.
Yeah. Like, it's adorable. Also, you get like a little character moment with Rhino. Like, he's not really a big part of the season, but like you get a little character moment where he's like, he loves animals, so he's gonna help Pelican Pete out. Like, it's really cute.
That's also their second shelter, right? Because the first one was getting swallowed by the sea.
Right. So funny. But yes, so that happens. We'll skip ahead. So the Trish blindside, I wanted to get to that because this is where Fairplay and Trish do attempt to blindside Rupert. And so they end up telling Sandra, like, hey, we're gonna blindside Rupert. They think they can tell Sean last minute, and then they can blindside Rupert and Krista. Sandra, of course, is aligned with Krista, and Rupert goes and tells them. And I also want to say kudos to Rupert for then going to Sean and like roping him in. Like, I feel like that's a really good play on Rupert's part.
Like, I think we can get caught up in remembering how like nice and lovable Rupert is. Rupert is not an idiot. Like, Rupert is smart. So he knew, like, go get Sean.
Right.
Sean, they're gonna come to you with this plan. But here's the thing. Don't go with that plan. Because we're gonna be 4 and they're gonna be 2. Just tell him yes. And Sean's like, all right, cool.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
It was just so sad to watch because like her whole reasoning for wanting Rupert out was like, oh, he's gonna be really well connected to both tribes. Like, he spent time with them. Like, we can't have that going into marriage. And she was 100% right. Like, he did have good connections on both tribes, but it was like, man, no, instead we're just going to turn around and vote you out.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, Trish was a player. She's another person who, if she made it past this round,
that's what I mean. This cast is so good. Even people who went out early on are good players.
So I believe this is this the round where Fairplay does the thing of everybody's got a price, everybody's got to pay, and the $1 Million Man always gets his way. I think this is where he like just such a good villain quote. But Trish does get blindsided. Unfortunately, Fairplay's plan does not work, and we get the iconic moment of who the hell voted for me.
He's so angry, and it's so, like. You also, like, I don't know, I know when, like, because I'm the nice teacher, right? So, like, when I use the scary voice, kids get scared. So, like, imagine being, like, little Johnny Fairplay, who's, like, this big around, and, like, you've got, like, big old nice Rupert, who's just like, I'm gonna catch a fish. I found a snake, and I'm gonna save his life. Don't we all love each other? And he's like, haha, I'm gonna get him. And then that guy turns around and is screaming in your face, in that like voice, shitting himself. Love it.
So good.
Voted for me.
I wanted to snap his neck like a damn chicken.
But then that episode, so we get that, but then that episode is the Outcast episode, right?
Yes, so this is the Outcast episode. So now we get to the next challenge, and they think this is merge at this point. And Jeff Probst is like, "Yeah, you're the 10 most you're the 10 most deserving survivors. Supposedly, you've made it this far. Well, your past has come back to haunt you." And the Outcasts come walking in, and everybody is shocked. Fairplay is smiling because he knows his game has actually possibly changed for the better after that. And so yeah, we get the Outcast coming in. What are your guys' thoughts on the Outcast twist? Like, what do you guys think about it?
I know it was controversial. I know Jeff didn't love it because it wasn't announced, right? So like they didn't know that these people are coming back. So like it kind of like made it like put some of them in a bad position without them realizing it. So he didn't love it, but like because there's so many good players in this cast, like giving them a chance to come back, I think great, do it. And we end up getting Burton.
Yeah.
Thank you. And I'll give Lil the credit later. But like I appreciate Lil for what she is. So we end up getting good characters back, and I like it.
Yeah.
Adrian? I like the comeback.
Do you know if they had like were they just on another island somewhere, like living?
I think they were just on another beach somewhere. Yeah.
Yeah. So the rumor is it was either another island or they were in the hotel and they got notified like late. But I believe they've come out and said like it was another beach. They weren't like fed a bunch of food. It was the same rations as like the players had in the game.
Because that's the only thing. Like I feel like if they had some sort of advantage for like being out of the game for that chunk of time, then it's not fair. But otherwise, I loved it.
Well, and I mean the fact. Yeah. Well, and I mean the fact of like Burton is this like strong player anyway, and like I like on the other beach, I can imagine he's the guy who is the Rupert over there, that he is catching the fish. We see him later when he comes back and that he's doing that as well. Like I think Burton was just providing so much food probably on the other beach anyway, so they were well fed.
And they didn't have to do challenges.
Right, exactly. They didn't have to exert themselves.
That's true. Yeah.
So like I think it just put them in the best position, and then when you have a fired up Burton that is already good at the challenges,
and that was a close challenge. Like like if you like look at it when they're doing the wide shots, Morgan dead in the water. But like Drake is right there. Drake was there, like they're coming through the gate like at the same time, and the Outcast just got everybody out first. Like it was very close.
Yeah, agreed. And I believe Savage has said also in this challenge, I believe Dara was like passing out. So like I think like he said there's like shots in the challenge where you can notice that Dara's like not at all like seeming like she's awake or anything. Like she was literally passing out. So
well, Dara went out there already weighing like 92 pounds soaking wet.
Right.
So like take food away from her, and like what's she gonna do?
Right, exactly. So the Outcasts do win, so they will vote 2 people back into this game. I did want to say my piece on this. I like what it brought into the season. I think without it, I mean, Shane and I talked about this actually on What If. We already recorded it for this season, but like without it, it might have still been interesting. But I think the fact of like we get Burton Lil back from this, like I think it helped the season be as good as it could be later, like in the second half too. Like I
think the Drakes still like are the dominant alliance. Like the Morgans, we're not putting it together. They probably like agree to vote out Austin first because he doesn't want to be there.
Right, that's what we thought too. Shane and I did.
Right, so like it's still gonna essentially play out a lot of the same ways, but this is a way more interesting version of that.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I can't think of the season with like when Shane and I talked it out, like as much as like it might still have been interesting, I still like the season better with Burton having it. And as much as like I will rag on Lil, like I think Lil being in is still funny. So
I am also glad that Burton is in
it. Well, we know that. So both tribes would vote somebody out. We have Sean and Fairplay fighting that leads into tribal council, and we get Fairplay's iconic just "fuck you" confessional to Sean. Short and sweet and to the point.
They really just seemed like they did not like each other for the longest, like for a long time, and it was just like good bye.
Yeah,
like I don't have to do this. I don't have to be aligned with you. I don't know. Bye. It's great.
Right. It was so good. So they do keep Fairplay in, which, you know, arguably they probably should have kept Sean in over Fairplay, but
Sean was like, more annoying, so they were like, let's vote him out. Like
I don't like Sean, so I'm good with him being gone. So.
I would have taken more time with Sean and Burton on my screen. I would have been okay with that.
Yeah, as a viewer, it was great, but
Yeah. And then we are going to get to the first quit in Survivor history with Austin quitting. We knew he was thinking about quitting since episode 2, but I wanted to save that for here because this is where he actually quits. And so the backstory here is that Austin, because he sold all his clothes, he actually got, I think it was pneumonia, and he got multiple staph infections. So like he was suffering out there, and like I think Savage has said like he's surprised Austin did not get medevaced. Like he should have been a medevac.
Yeah, I remember watching it and being like, I wanted to be on reality TV since I wanted to be on Legends of the Hidden Temple on Nickelodeon in the 90s. Okay, so like I'm watching this. At that time you had to be 21 to be on Survivor. I was not old enough to be on Survivor yet, and I'm like, I want to do this. And I was like already mad at the quitter because like you're taking my spot. I couldn't even do it. I'm already mad at that. But rewatching it now is like, please send that man home. Please send him to a doctor and then send him home to rest. Like,
yeah.
Adrian,
I was not sad to see him go though. I was sick.
No.
I was sick of everything that came out of that man's mouth. I was like, I just don't want you here anymore.
No, he also absolutely did annoy me for like, bro, what did you expect? What did you think? Like, this show is getting 30 million viewers. Like, it's getting solid 20 million a week. You have to know you're going to live on a beach, build a tent out of palm fronds, and like be covered in mosquito bites. You have to know that. Like that can't be a surprise to you.
I love Survivor. I feel like I'd be really good at like the strategy and the social component of it. I know I will never, ever, ever apply to be on the actual show because I don't want to sleep outside. I don't like nature. I don't like bugs. Like I would be terrible, which is why I'm not applying. Like if you know you are not that kind of person, why are you going on the show? Go on Big Brother. It's the same thing in a house.
Even because I hate nature. I say every time I go outside, I hate nature. But I know that that's what I'm going to encounter, so it's okay. Like, I mean, yes. Am I hating this experience of like sleeping on bamboo and like there's crabs crawling on me at night and like I'm literally just like one giant
I would be the Austin and I would quit, which is why I'm just not
do I enjoy this? No, but did I know that that's what I was signing up for? I absolutely did, and so I can't be mad at it. So
I almost quit virtual Survivor. Shout out to my smoke sister.
I'm with Adrian though. Like I could not do the real thing. Like that's why I'm glad we have Vanquish to like simulate Survivor for us.
No, sign me up. I will complain the entire time, but I'll do it.
I want to be on Big Brother because you get a nice warm bed. I mean, you're watched 24/7.
You get a nice warm bed if you're not a have-not.
True. But yeah, Survivor is just not for me, and it wasn't for Austin either.
Yeah. And we get Jeff Probst throwing a hissy fit, throwing Austin's torch down. You know, Jeff hates quitters. This is perfectly exemplified here. Jeff is like, you know, with all due respect to Austin, which means that Jeff has no respect towards Austin.
All due respect means the zero respect. Yes.
People have worked too damn hard to stay in this game.
He was relatively nice about it, though, for like the first one, because I feel like as the seasons go on and like more people quit, he just gets angrier and angrier.
True. I mean, at a certain point, I feel like he's as nice about some of the quits as he can. And like, I feel like this is an understandable one. We're going to get all stars with the 2 quits there being completely understandable for what was happening. There's a few other quits in Survivor history that I would say are understandable. There's a few that are a bit ridiculous, but
there's 2 that come to mind right away.
Yeah, well, we'll get there eventually.
The 45th degree of my brain.
Yeah, Kevin's replacement on the show.
It's fine. I'm not angry about it. It's fine.
Yeah.
I don't know the story. You'll have to tell me later.
Tell you later.
Yeah, we'll talk about it later. So yes, that is the pre-merge of Survivor Pearl Islands. Obviously, we're gonna get Burton and Lil back. I did want to say, as we get into this post-merge now, so when Burton and Lil get voted back in, Burton was like obvious, like people are gonna vote this guy back in. Lil was actually voted back in so that the rest of the Outcasts didn't have to spend the pre-jury trip with her. That is like the actual like tea on that. Michelle and
is
Nicole did
so
not want to be there with her on the trip.
I
That's
don't blame them.
so funny to me. So funny. Just so like, listen, guys, we got voted out. We're sending Burton back in.
Yeah.
We can't both go back in. So the only way to not have to deal with her is to vote her back in with Burton.
I did not know that. That's so funny.
Just I love that this cast is so good, but also that there is so much like just personal, just like animosity. Like, no.
That's why it makes such good TV.
Yes.
The drama.
Yes.
Yeah. So they do rejoin their old tribes, and Savage is pissed about it, and Burton actually gets a pretty warm welcome comparatively to Lil. And then we're gonna get to our merge, and we get Balboa, which Rupert named it after my snake. Balboa.
Great tribe name.
So good.
Yeah, it's number one for me for the merge tribe names so far. I mean, I feel like it's really between like Jacare from Amazon, Motamachi from Africa, Barramundi from Australia. I feel like those are like the good ones, like right under that. So
I never remember tribe names, and I remember Balboa. So.
Yeah,
right.
It's the most iconic for sure. So now we're gonna get to the Andrew Savage boot, which is another one of Jeff Probst's crushes. Jeff has been, I think that's the other reason why Jeff has been so upset about the Outcast Twist is because it screwed over Savage. He's said that multiple times on record, that's a reason why he thinks it was a mistake. So it's just funny. So yeah, let's talk about the Andrew Savage boot here. And so Savage is going to try to gun for Fairplay, calling him Little John, which is really, really funny. But yeah, thoughts on this blindside on Savage here, where Lil helps vote him out.
I mean, why were you blindsided, Andrew Savage? Like we talked about. Look how they like. This is where Andrew, Tawana, Rhino, they were really good at that like pre-merge game, right?
Yeah.
Like they had their lines. That tribe could have gone down to 3 people and it would have been the 3 of them, right? Like, they were great at that part, but the merge part of the game, they were not so good at. And like, listen, Lil is back in the game. Doesn't matter whether you like her or not. She's back in the game. So you need to be nice to her. And I'm sorry that you don't like her. And I'm sorry that but like, you need to try. You need to try Andrew Savage. You need to put on your big boy pants and you need to try. So like, I don't know why you're blindsided. I don't know why you're surprised. I'm not surprised.
Right.
You thought Lil was going to come back to you after you were such a dick to her when she came back? No, like, of course she did. Like, why were you blindsided?
And they were, like, so shocked that Lil flipped. And I'm like, you shouldn't be shocked.
Right.
Like, I would have, too. She didn't flip just to flip. She flipped because she came back and you were just like, meh, whatever.
Right. I don't subscribe to the fact of, like Andrew Savage was screwed over by the Outcast Twist. I think he poorly handled Lil, and that's why he got voted out. Like,
I mean, he also said we're gonna vote them right back out, like revolving door.
And like
exactly.
That's the thing. Listen, if you want to say that before they come back, and you want to be like, we voted this person out for a reason, we're sticking together, and like, you know what, like that person is they're done for anyway, right? Like, sure, you say that, but when they get back, you don't act that way towards them,
Right. Yeah. Yep, and it's so funny just watching him act that way. And like the line, we didn't mention it earlier, we should mention it now, when Andrew Savage was supposed to tell Lil when she was getting voted out, and she says, well, you were supposed to tell me when I was getting voted out, why should I do the same for you? Like,
I love it. This is where I love that Lil, I don't love Lil overall. I love that Lil like understands I was voted out of this game, so like being the nicey nice like scout leader is not gonna work.
Right.
And she makes some changes, and I love that about her. Like,
she has a
good
very
for
hard
you, Lil.
time making those changes.
It was a difficult time. We had to hear about how difficult it was, but I appreciate someone who learns their lesson, and she learned it, and she was like, no, why do I have to tell you now? You didn't tell me. Good, don't tell him.
Yep. Well,
and like, what did they think? Did they think it was just gonna be a 5-5 tie, and they were gonna like go to rock? Like, what did you think was gonna happen?
They probably thought they could get Burton to flip as well, as my thinking, because he got burned by Drake. It again, either way, they're just they did not play this round well at all.
No. No, so he goes, and then we get like the saddest episode of just like waiting for Rhino to get voted out in the next. Like he's clearly the next to go.
Yeah,
and like we're just waiting. Like, and then that immunity challenge was like they had to take each other out of the challenge, and like, so you're just like poor Rhino. Rhino has like he's just sitting here for a whole episode just waiting for the inevitable.
Yeah, I don't like that as an immunity challenge of like the coconut chop and just like putting, the pecking order. I feel like that always should be a reward challenge because immunity, it's so obvious most of the time. Now, I will say that in Marquesas obviously had the power shift in that season when they did it there. So they probably thought, okay, we had a final 9 here too. Maybe there'll be a power shift, but for Rhino, it didn't happen.
I think it is a fun challenge to like see where people stand and like where loyalties lie, but I agree, not as immunity.
Yeah. It worked out once. It didn't work out this time. Well, until next.
I think it's a great challenge overall. Bring it back all the time. Bring it back more often.
Yeah.
Let these people see where they stand.
It's fun.
I mean, I guess it did factor in next episode because we're about to get to the Rupert Blindside here. But so we do now get to Fairplay setting the pieces up and Burton as well. They're both working together so well to get the Morgan girls and to get Lil. And so Burton gives up his reward to Fairplay. And I did want to bring this up of like Fairplay being like, you have to get rid of Rupert, Lil. And it's like, Lil's like, you're not lying to me. He's like, no, I'm not. I swear to God. And Lil starts crying and says, don't say that about God. It's one of my favorite moments. It's just so ridiculous.
Oh, Lillian. I love her.
I also loved her like drunk on the boat.
Yes. Drunk Lil on the boat.
when Burton tells her in the one reward, like, you're gonna have to lie. And she's like, I don't want to. And he's like, but you have to. And she's like, okay, but I don't want to. It's so funny to me.
So much better that she's like in a Boy Scout uniform when she's like crying and hysterical, because it like just makes her that much more like juvenile and immature, because it's like you were dressed like a little boy, you're crying like a little boy. It's just so good. Funny. Like if she was in normal clothes, it wouldn't be as iconic.
Right. I'm so happy that they made her.
Like she just has this whole Boy Scout persona.
God. I'm so happy they made her wear the Boy Scout uniform.
Yes.
So funny.
All right, so we're about to get to the Rupert Blindside. We do get like the setup throughout this episode. You even get like a nature shot of like the snake eating the iguana, which is just such a shocking, scary scene that you have to witness, and it's like it sets it up so perfectly that this is about to happen.
Yeah, and like I'm glad we've passed now the like pagonging, right? Like we've gotten more strategic seasons. So like, yeah, you're not gonna go to Final 5 with a tight trio. So like, yeah, Burton, John, Lil, switch it up. Like,
right. And they do.
Great move.
Yeah, I love this move. It's one of the most iconic. This is one of the best episodes in Survivor history, in my opinion. One of the most iconic moves. And the fact that this is the most popular player of all time in Rupert, the audience loves him, and to see him get blindsided by the biggest villain of the season.
This was a blindside.
Yeah.
This was a blindside. Andrew Savage is blindsided, but like he's blindsided. We aren't.
Right.
Rupert?
Shocking. Yeah.
Rupert!
It's so crazy too. Like you would expect that Rupert is going to make it to at least like the final couple episodes, and he doesn't. So
I just love the discussion before too of like, oh yeah, like he's a threat, he needs to go, but like, how are we going to eat? Like that's their only concern. Is like you're not going to have fish anymore if we vote him out.
Well, and wait, okay,
forget like backstabbing him or betraying him. It's like we're going to be hungry.
Yeah.
Can we also therefore talk about the next, like the beginning of the next episode, when Sandra being the villain she is. I know we have big villains here in Johnny Fairplay. Like we have big Sandra coming back to camp, being pissed they voted out Rupert.
That snake mother effer
by accident. She's just gonna hide the fish, trips and falls and dumps it by accident, and just leaves it. And then
Krista gets blamed
her
for
number one
it.
ally.
Oh my god.
Take the ball.
It's so iconic. And Krista doesn't even get voted out this episode, and people think she does, but it's just it sets her up to get
Like
voted out.
screaming, like, I didn't do it. Sandra's just like chilling there, like, yeah, you did.
God.
And Sandra's
it's
like,
so-
I mean, yeah, it sucks that she's getting blamed for it.
Whatever.
as long as it ain't me.
Oh, good.
Oh my
Right?
god.
So good.
I also wanted to touch on so Rupert's final words, of course. We also get so much for my dreams.
It did a little bit break my heart
Yeah.
watching him because like he has this like big deep voice, blah, 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 right? And like he's so cool. And like when he has that moment of like he's still like he of all people in this season feels like the like weird kid who gets picked on and left out. And I was just like, no, you're not the weird kid. You're not
Right.
the nerd.
I
You're
know.
fucking
It's
good
so
I do feel bad, and it is $1 million, so I would expect someone to be that like upset and pissed off that like their dreams of winning $1 million just got squashed. Like,
But like it's more than $1 million, right? It's like that bringing out that feeling that we all have of like
Right.
like not being liked, and like you don't expect it out of Rupert.
yeah,
Ugh.
it's so good, and I feel like that's another reason why people do love Rupert. I know that there's people who are a little bit tired of Rupert at this point. I always think he's a top tier Survivor character.
Me
character.
too.
Yes.
So, and he fits the theme of every season he's on. Like he's the pirate this season. All Stars, he's like feeding into being the most popular player of all time. Heroes versus villains, he's like
the hero.
I literally forgot he was on here.
and then Blood versus Water, he obviously switches with Laura to like save her.
He's
and, like,
a hero.
Blood versus Water. Yeah.
But even at that, like it makes perfect sense if you're doing a Blood versus Water and you're like bringing in people's family. Like Rupert is one of the people you want to see. Like Rupert is like are the people around him the same way? Like he's absolutely somebody I would have wanted on that season. You know?
Yeah. I remember being so mad at him when he did that because I was like, oh, I wanted to see you play this season. And then, but it's like, it's such a Rupert move.
Yeah.
Such a Rupert thing to do.
You can't get that mad.
They knew he would do that too. They knew when they had the twist design and they were bringing back Rupert and Laura, like they knew that was going to happen. But
he's just way more fun to watch than Laura, in my opinion.
well, yeah, true.
That's a conversation for Blood versus Water.
Yeah, we'll get there, Blood versus Water, but we wanted to mention Rupert's character arcs. All right, let's talk about the dead grandma lie. You know, unfortunately, Johnny's grandma has recently passed away.
I hope everyone, you go out and you watch an episode of Jerry Springer and celebrate Johnny Fairplay's grandma.
Yes.
Like, she unwillingly provided us with so much entertainment. Thank you. Thank you for your service.
Yes, thank you, Johnny Fairplay's grandma. And let's get into it. So we get the family members coming out, and so Thunder Dan comes in, Johnny Fairplay's buddy, and you immediately get the fingers and the everything. And so Fairplay gives him the hug, and obviously we know that Fairplay had this pre-plan to be like, lie, tell me my grandma died, give this lie. Fairplay's buddy almost blows it. He's like, how's grandma? And Thunder Dan's like, what? And he's like, how's grandma? He's like, she died. So good.
I'm glad that editing though, like they didn't reveal that was the plan before. Because as a viewer, you're feeling all the emotions with the cast too. Like, oh my God, this is so sad. His grandmother just died. And then the reveal comes after. I was like, that is genius. Instead of being like,
brilliant.
Oh, my friend's gonna show up and I'm gonna pretend my grandma died. Like, because I remember the first time watching it, like my jaw was on the floor.
Yeah.
I
Floor.
Believe. And like even knowing now that it's coming, it's like, wow, this is very believable.
Right.
Even from somebody like Fairplay, like it's so believable.
Yeah, even with Thunder Dan almost blowing it up. So, but Fairplay's acting part is very, very good.
Yeah.
And props to Sandra for not giving a shit.
Yes,
Sandra
did
shot
not.
at him first.
Yes, so I believe it's been revealed. Like Sandra, I think she said like Fairplay talked about like his grandma and stuff, and like And I think she knew it was fake because he would talk about his grandma and all this stuff. I don't know. It was something like that. But I think that's why she immediately didn't buy it. So,
props to the queen.
Yeah, the queen. That's why she's the queen. She
gets the first thing right. She's like, John.
Fairplay's buddy.
Every time he lies too, he's like, I swear on my grandma, and then she like swears on her kids, and I'm like,
Yeah.
clearly this means nothing. You're like, oh yeah, I swear on my kids, and she's like, that means nothing. Like, I don't care that he's swearing on his grandma. Like,
Right. We'll get to that line later after this actually, but yeah, it's just so fantastic. You have Lil crying every single time Fairplay mentions his grandma. Like
Lil. Right. You have Sandra who was like, bye, and you have Lil who's like, it's so funny.
It's so good.
I also just loved the loved ones challenge. Like, again, sticking hard with the pirate theme of like walking the plank. It was like, how well does your loved one know you, which was like a fun component. But I was like, oh, I wish they still did loved one visits in general, but
I know.
I also loved the way they tied it in.
Yeah, I agree. It was very good. Some of the loved ones also seem pretty fun, not just Thunder Dan, but no, I really like this one. This is one of the most, aside from the Grandma Lie, like this is one of the most iconic loved ones visits I think in Survivor history.
Yeah.
So let's jump ahead. I know there's some stuff that happens. You know, Burton gets stripped of immunity for not smelling liaison right at one point.
They were so bad at that challenge, all of them. Like,
yeah.
Everybody kept getting out.
They kept getting out. They'd be like, done. Nope, you're out.
Yeah.
It was like 3 of them who got to do the final version of it.
Yeah, and then they finally like awarded it to Burton, and they're like, "Oh no, just kidding! Now we messed up."
And then Dara starts her immunity streak. Little Dara becomes the
little tiny Dara, who was passing out in the Outcast challenge, is now the challenge beast of the season.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's very shocking. It's very crazy, and that's why we love Survivor. Is we get shocking, crazy character arcs and moments like this.
And it was the first time a woman won immunity this season.
Yes, true.
I also like if I'm looking at this group of women, like which one of them is going to make an immunity run. I would have said Krista. Like,
yeah,
because remember that challenge where they had to hold the weight in the back. First of all, she was the only woman.
Yes.
Right, it was all guys, and she held up as much as Austin. Like, she was holding a lot of weight for a long time. So like,
yes,
if one of them was going to go on a challenge run, like I would have picked Krista, and it's little tiny Dara.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did want to Mortician Dara.
I did want to speak to that point, Adrian, as well. Like that holding the weight challenge. It's the first time it gets featured. It's an iconic challenge. Rupert starts the record of holding the most weight. I think it's broken in South Pacific. So
that's because I haven't on yet.
Challenge because there's so much strategy involved in it, in addition to like the physical component. And I was like, ugh, they need to do more challenges like this.
I know.
Yes.
I know. I think it was causing like actual injuries. I believe that's
probably. But now it's only 26 days, so I feel like get over it.
Yeah, like
get over it.
They did a version of it in Cook Islands where they had to like hold it, right?
Yes,
so, like,
that was. I just rewatched that season recently, and it's Adam and Nate that like hold on to like the big weights and
So like do it that way, because this is a very good, like, we get so many like obstacle course puzzles now, but this is a very good like physical and mental combo sort of challenge.
I also love the ones where they have to like hold the water above their head and then like they can choose to get down for reward, like things like that too. It's like you can either fight it out and win immunity, or you can like get food. Like there's just so many cool challenges that I miss. And like the auction kind of has made a comeback, but
kind of not as good as it used to be, but
there's just so like watching all these old seasons, I'm like, ugh, I just miss it.
I do too. We all do. All right, last spot of the post-merge I wanted to talk about before we get to our finale and rankings and everything. So this is where Sandra screws over both John and Burton. It's such a good moment, and the blindside that they completely believe Sandra is the swing vote and that she's with them, and she just completely fools them.
It was so good to watch when they went on the reward together and left the women alone, and the women were like, fuck these guys. It's so good. It's such good television.
It is.
I love it's such a natural like thing that happens, and just like the fact that we're getting this like giant blindside on Burton again, and just like it's so good. This is another one of my favorite blindsides, despite that I do like Burton, but like it's just such a good move.
Yeah.
So Burton is going to be the first person in Survivor history to get voted out twice in one season. So congrats, Burton.
Not the last, but the first.
Not the last. Yes, the first. We will eventually get to Ozzy getting voted out 3 times in one season, but we'll get there.
Oh my gosh.
But yeah, no, it's very, very crazy there. Anything else about the post-merge here before we get to our finale and last rankings?
No, I like that it is a very power shift. It's like Marquesas. It's a very like power shifty merge where like if you told me at the beginning of this merge that Sandra was going to be the last Drake standing, I would have been like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
But watching her do it is masterful.
Yeah, well, there was a few times she was like on the wrong side of the vote too,
Right.
and you're like, this woman's game is like dead in the water, and like
Right.
the fact that she was able to come back and win is just like so good.
Yeah, very, very good. Yeah, I would say this is like a combination of Marquesas and Amazon. Like you're getting the fluid,
yes,
shifting
Amazon
gameplay.
too. Yes.
So like, I mean, Amazon, Rob Cesternino, like made that so that people could see like you could do this fluid gameplay. Like Fairplay based his gameplay off Cesternino. Like that's how good like it is, like how the evolution of Survivor just happened, where you get 2 seasons in a row of this crazy good gameplay.
Yes.
All right, well, let's get to the finale. So we do get the final 4 trivia. The jury competes and wins, and we get Challenge Beast Dara getting voted out at 4. So
I mean, should they take out Fairplay? They probably should take out Fairplay because like don't let this man get to the end, but like don't let Dara go to a final challenge.
Right.
I think there's pros and cons to both.
Yeah.
They both needed to be the next two boots. Like the order doesn't really matter.
Right. Well, it's so funny. Like Fairplay, I think after getting screwed by Sandra, like he does a good job of like fueling the fire between Dara and Lil, like so that Dara like basically exposes herself to like Lil voting her out, being like, I'm not gonna make this deal with you, Lil, and then Lil
again, Dara, these Morgans.
Yeah.
Lie.
Yeah, just lie. Yeah, she really screws this up.
She fumbles the ball so hard.
Yeah. And of course, Lil being the emotional one is, going to take that and run with it. So
again, I don't love Lil, but good for Lil for being like, oh, well, you're not, if you win the final challenge, you're not going to take me? Yeah. Well, then you got to go. Like,
well, yeah, I do agree with that, for sure.
Annoying character, but I have to give her that credit.
Yeah. Let's get to our final challenge. So we do get like the rites of passage being super iconic with shooting the muskets and at the ship, and it's so good. But we get to our final challenge, which is, you're gonna hold yourself up in like a squatting position on the platform on the water. So it's like Marquesas's first immunity challenge, individual immunity challenge, but like harder. So you get Sandra drops out early, so it comes down to Fairplay trying to make a deal with Lil, and Lil just saying, Fairplay, these are squats.
She's like, do you know what these are? She's like, I do aerobics, and I do this all the time. And he's like wincing, and he's like, but what if you let me win, I'll definitely take him. She's like, no.
He keeps trying and trying. He's like screaming, like, do you know what a deal means? And she's like, yeah, I just don't want to do it.
Yeah.
So good.
It is so good. And the fact that Lil has been like, basically Fairplay has just like been, taunting her and being this villain, and like for Lil to be the one to take Fairplay out here is just hilarious.
Love it.
It's so good.
No.
Speaking of which, so let's get to the downfall of Johnny Fairplay. And so let's rank the Fallen Angels, and I'll let you guys speak on that. So I'm going to reveal where the rankings stand right now. Number 1, Rob Cesternino. Not shocking there. Number 2, Kathy Vavrick O'Brien, Marquesas. Number 3, Rudy. Number 4, Lex. Number 5, Chef Keith Famian. Number 6, Jan from Thailand is in last. Building her pet cemetery.
Where do I have Fairplay in here? I also ranked them before I have him fairly low. I think because when I was thinking about it, I was remembering him as just being the villain and not liking him when I watched the season live. Like, I wanted him voted out. But after rewatching it, like, I'd put him higher. Like,
yeah.
He's
I
really good
feel
at
like
this.
I always struggle with rankings because, like, as a person and like as a character, I couldn't stand him. Like, I wanted him gone. I thought he was obnoxious. If I was ever on a beach with him, I would have pulled all my hair out. Like, cannot imagine. But as a player and a gamer, he was great. So I'm like, do I rank you based on like you as a human and like how I actually enjoyed watching you on my TV or not, or like do I rank based on only gameplay? And it's like always hard to kind of separate the two. So I feel like I don't remember where I put him, but he's probably definitely higher than some of those people on the list. But there's also been some pretty good Fallen Angels so far, so I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I had him 4th of the 48 Fallen Angels, so I had him very high. I had him.
Oh wow.
I had him.
I had him low.
Which 3 are above him?
I think his game is the lesser, like Rob Cesternino's game, but not as good as Rob Cesternino's game in Amazon, because he modeled his game after Rob. But like, he's able to switch things up where he shouldn't really be able to. Like, I mean, he gets Sandra and Krista right after blindsiding them with the Rupert vote to get them to vote out Tawana and then fool them and then make them. Yeah. And then to make them think like, okay, we're with you, and then they take out Krista right after. Like, Fairplay is a good player. Like, he isn't just.
Well, if people did what I did and they ranked him based on their memory of watching the season live and how they didn't like him at the time, he's going to be low. If they remembered that he's actually a really good player and really smart, then they ranked him high. So it depends on what people were thinking when they did the rankings.
I agree. I think it's just I personally prefer like the more heroic game, and he was just like way too much of a villain for me. But rewatching it, you're like, okay, you are good at this, even if I don't like the villain game necessarily.
Yeah. Well, Fairplay is number 5. He is above Chef Keith and Jan.
At least he's above those two.
Yeah, he deserves to be above those two. He's right below Lex. So
I do have him above those two in my rankings as well.
Yeah.
So
So no, I mean, I think this is a good spot. I mean, I know I had him higher than I probably should have, but like, I don't know. I thought his game was good on multiple rewatches.
What other people do you have above him out of curiosity? Or is that
So
I will at least say, obviously, I have Cesternino above him. I didn't want to like spoil too much.
Rank wise, what's the order right now?
So it's Cesternino, Kathy, Rudy, Lex, Fairplay, Keith, and Jan.
I mean, those are all good players too, though. So it's not.
I personally would put Kathy lower, which I know is an unpopular opinion, but.
I mean, I have her lower than Fairplay, so but
I have her lower than a lot of people.
I remember loving Kathy, so I don't see where I put her on my list, but I know that I had her higher.
I had her just outside the top 10 for me, but
I had her at 10. I had her at 10. I loved Kathy.
I do love Kathy. I love her arc in that season, but anyway, we've already talked about Marquesas. Let's keep it going in the interest of time. So final tribal council. So Lil is accused of breaking the Scoutmaster's code, and she isn't allowed to separate it from the game. So says people like Rhino and a couple other people.
They just didn't like her.
Yeah.
Which
agreed.
like fair, but like just say you don't like her. I felt bad watching her. She was so stuck on this, like, if I could change one thing, I wouldn't wear this shirt. It's like you're stuck on like this one narrative that like this is not the actual narrative.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I thought Sandra's final tribal was pretty good. So
this was also a weird final tribal to watch. Like we get so much more from a final tribal now. Like I felt like this was so short and so like not as like dramatic as it usually is.
Yeah, I agree. And I feel like neither of them really owned their games. Like there was moments of it where they did, but I was like, I don't know. Like I wouldn't want to vote for either of you after watching this. Like as a viewer, you see Sandra's gameplay, so you're like, oh, but like as a jury member, I feel like a lot of what she did like didn't really get talked about.
Yeah, I almost feel like the thing that we didn't see was that they were like, we're not voting for you, Lil, right? Because only Tawana did, and Tawana actually like. I remember Tawana's reasoning, and then when she answered the question, I was like, "Oh yeah, like Tawana was right for it." Because Lil's like, because Sandra said like she voted for all of you, and she's like, "Yeah, I did vote for all of you." And
right, yeah, that was a really weird comment from Sandra. I was like, "Why are you saying that Lil is responsible for everyone being on the jury? Like, isn't that something you'd want to reward?"
Yeah, I mean, I think the rest of our final tribal is pretty decent. I don't think it's terrible, but I do read
this is also what 2003.
Yeah,
that's
so. True. This is 2003. This is like around the time when like you were supposed to be loyal to your alliance. You weren't supposed to be a villain, right? So like Sandra's like, no, of course I didn't turn on Rupert. I had no idea, right? Like,
yeah,
because that was what you had to present at that time. Like you're allowed to be more villainous now, which good for us viewers. But it makes sense in that context, but it was weird.
Yeah, well, so I believe, so the reason why it seems so short, so the tea here is that apparently Fairplay, they had to keep pausing filming and resetting because Fairplay kept making Lil cry so much.
Not surprised, though.
So, like, he'd basically be, like, ready to cry more, bitch, and then, like, he'd just, like, attack
I'm not
her.
surprised at all.
Yeah.
I'm not surprised by either of them.
Yeah. So, all right, let's get to the rest of the rankings. So losing finalists, where we stand right now. Number 1 is Colby. Number 2 is Kelly Wigglesworth. Number 3 is Nalia. Number 4 is Kim Johnson. Number 5 is Matthew Von Ertfelda, and number 6 is Clay. So
that ranking makes sense so far.
Yeah. So I had Lil very low. I had her at 78th out of 81 losing finalists. Factoring in the 48 ones that we just got, but yeah, I
had 79 and I have her at 55. I don't have her very high. I just want to give her credit because I think she deserves a little bit of credit, but she was not ever going to win this season.
No.
And therefore she is low on the list.
It just, she's annoying. I don't like Lil. I like what she provides, but it's kind of at her expense most of the time.
Right.
I also find it weird how every time like we get scenes of like Sandra and like Krista and like people being like, Lil's a threat to win this game, and I'm like, since when? And that doesn't support what happens. So,
right.
I think they again just wanted her out and were just like saying she was a threat so people would
to not make her cry.
I do have her though. I mean, I have her above Kim Johnson because I think Kim Johnson kind of did nothing. I have her above Matt because Matt was kind of crazy, and I have her above Clay because did anyone like Clay? So I do have her above some of these people. I just don't think she's gonna stay. She wouldn't stay there for very long.
Right, Adrian, where do you have Lil?
I don't remember. Probably middle to low. She just annoys me the entire season. So if I was ranking it on personal preference, she'd probably be very low. If I was rating on gameplay, she'd be like moderately low.
Right.
Yeah. All right. So Lil ended up at number 5. She is above Matthew and Clay. She is below Kim Johnson. So
I
think that's valid.
That's fair. Yeah, I have her at 55 and Kim Johnson at 59. So like they're pretty close. So that's fine.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think either of them are going to stay in the top 5.
In the top 10, no. So yeah, just as soon as we get through Palau, like that's going to be the last time everybody's going to be included in these top 10s because we will move people out of the top 10 as more people join in.
Yeah.
But
now Sandra.
Yes, Sandra's a winner. So I had Sandra 1.0 at 23rd out of 48. I think her game in Pearl Islands is pretty solid. I mean, she does get blindsided a couple times, but then she rebounds and she's never really a target to go home. She helps organize a few critical blindsides. Obviously, both of Burton's blindsides she helps put together. She gets the ball rolling on Trish getting voted out. Like she is obviously a really good player. I mean, she's the queen for a reason, and I feel like her first game really exemplifies that. And so yeah, I had her 23rd out of 48.
I think I have her really high. I don't remember again, but
I have both of her wins high. Both of her wins are in my top 15.
I was gonna say I feel like she's probably like somewhere between 10 and 15, if not higher, for Pearl Islands.
Yeah.
I think her Pearl Islands game is significantly better than her Heroes vs. Villains, personally.
I agree.
I have it the other way around, but that's just because I love Sandra.
I do like love her too, but I mean, I give her credit for Heroes vs. Villains because the fact that a winner made the end is impressive in itself.
Right,
but
exactly.
Like just looking at the two games individually, I think Pearl Islands was the better. Like she had better.
I think she's so good at she gets blindsided and then she rebounds, and like I just think she's great. She's so great at this. That's why they vote her out early now. That's why they vote her out on day 16. Now.
I know.
Right.
Like she's just so behind the scenes, like in the best way, not like behind the scenes like where she's invisible, but she's like pulling all these strings and like nobody ever looks at her as a threat. And it's like, how are you just not noticing like everything that she's doing? I don't know.
I think she's probably pretty high in these rankings. She might be like number 2, right? Like I think she's probably pretty high in these rankings.
She better.
People love Sandra.
Yeah, I think I was doing what Adrian was doing, and I'm separating her 2 games because
but I think like right now for this list, the 7 that we have so far.
Yeah,
like,
where does she fall in the 7?
Yeah. So the winner ranking so far, we have Richard Hatch at number 1, we have Tina number 2, Vesepia number 3, Ethan 4, Iceman, Mr. Freeze, Brian Heidick at 5, and Jenna Maraska at 6.
She's at least at 4, at least.
So
I think she should be higher than all of them.
I mean,
all right, well, she ended up at number 2. She ended up right underneath Richard Hatch.
I said number 2.
So
I think she's better than Richard Hatch, but
I agree.
I'm okay with it. I'm not gonna get mad.
Yeah, if I'm ranking as like an overall player, I would have Sandra I would have her in the top 5 greatest players of all time.
Oh yeah, for sure.
If I'm separating her games, I'm looking at them specifically in the season, and so but I mean, if we were putting together an overall player list, I would anticipate she would be in the top 5 greatest players of all time.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So definitely. All right. So now
only 2-10 winners, like
right. Yeah, exactly. So now let's get to our season rankings. We have 3 things left to do. So season rankings, where they stand currently: Borneo at number 1, Australian Outback number 2, Marquesas number 3, Amazon number 4, Africa number 5, and Thailand, as everybody predicted, is last. So
Shocker.
Yeah.
I have 1 season below Thailand in my rankings.
Yeah,
I wonder which one.
And I think my friends here know which one I ranked personally below it. No, this is, of these 7, this should be number 1.
I have it number 3 overall out of 48 seasons. I have
it at number 9. It's a top 10 season all these years later.
Yeah. It's
great.
still top 3 for me.
Yeah.
I don't remember where I put it. Probably 2 or 3 would be my guess.
Yeah, and I think most people have it at least in their top 10. I feel like a lot of people have it in their top 5 too. But, all right, well, yeah. So Pearl Islands is number 1.
As it should be.
Yeah, it's so good. It's such a good season, and just so many good characters and players, and as we've talked about. All right, let's get to our favorite and least favorite players, male and female. So favorite players, I'm going to go for the male. I'm going Burton. I think his challenge ability is insane. I think if given more of an opportunity, I think, he would be one of the greatest challenge performers of all time. Obviously, he statistically didn't get there, but I think if, I think in any other situation, I think he had the possibility of doing that. And then I'm going to go with Sandra for the woman. I mean, Sandra's just so iconic and so fun to watch in this season. So that's where I'm going to go. What about you, Dan?
Do you want to think about it?
Well, I know who I'm picking for my favorite male because it's Rupert.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
Right, like listen, do I love watching Burton on my screen? I absolutely loved every moment of it. It's just like I loved every moment of watching Sean and Rhino and Austin and Savage. But like, and like Burton is a great player and he is a challenge beast. And so I love that about him. But like, who do I want invited back again and again and again? And I don't even care. I don't care if I'm bored with him. I don't care if he plays the same game every time. I want Rupert back. I love Rupert. Put him on Big Brother. He's been on Amazing Race. Put him on Amazing Race again. I just love him. I just love him. Just love him. Women, I mean, you already said Sandra, but like, who else? I feel like Tawana doesn't get enough like credit for being like the lead woman on that losing tribe. I feel like Krista doesn't get enough like love, like memory love. Like she's out there lifting as much as Austin. Like, come on. So like I do like a lot of these women, like little tiny Dara, little mortician Dara, like being the challenge beast. I do love a lot of these characters. Trish going for like a big play, or they're great, but like it's Sandra. It's Sandra. She's the star of the season. It's Sandra. And she can get loud too.
What the fuck?
Yeah, I agree. For me, it's Sandra and Rupert. Rupert, just so lovable. Like Kevin said, could watch him over and over. Like you just find yourself like rooting for him, just like wanting to give him a hug when he's sad. Like, he's just like a big teddy bear, and you're like,
he literally saved a hurt snake.
Yeah,
like that snake could probably kill him, and he was like, "Oh, hey, little buddy, let me make you a band-aid out of a like."
And such a like soft soul, and I just love him. And then Sandra, like kind of the opposite. Not that she's like a bitch, but like she's just she kind of is. she's like
but
a
bitches
villain,
get shit
like,
done.
Yeah, she's a villain, but she like is like sweet about it. I don't know. She's a little more like stealthy and like just really fun to watch. And I feel like every time I watch this season, I like appreciate her game even more.
Yeah. So. All right, least favorite man and woman. For my least favorite man, I'm going with Mr. Armani suit, Sean. And I think he's like the Walmart version of Burton. Like and all he does is argue with Fairplay and talk about his Armani suits. So yeah, I think Sean deserves this placement because I could go with like Skinny Ryan or somebody else maybe, but I think those are like the only two men I was really considering. For least favorite man, and then least favorite woman, I am going with Lil because as much as like she is like an iconic part of the season, she annoys the crap out of me, and she's gonna get my least favorite woman.
I think least favorite man, though I do feel bad for him because I think they kind of did him dirty in the edit and kind of made him look bad. I'm still gonna go with Austin. Like he's kind of a downer. One of those people that they cast, and I'm like, did you not know? Like, it's called Survivor. What did you think you were signing up for? I mean, I feel bad for him because I think he was actually really sick. And they just made it seem like he was quitting. But still, like, the Debbie Downer. And then least favorite woman, I can't in good conscience pick Lil. I can't do it. I knew
you were gonna say that.
I appreciate her too much. I appreciate her effort too much. I think I will go with Michelle. I think she's kind of forgettable. I think she like doesn't quite understand how to play the game as well as the other Drakes. So I just think she's kind of forgettable. So not so much like dislike, but just like
it's all about revenge.
She's nothing. She's nothing. She's irrelevant.
Yeah.
All right, Adrian.
For me, it's Austin and Lil. A combination of both of yours. As a fellow crybaby, I feel like I shouldn't keep crybaby games. But they just are so whiny. And I'm just like, shut up the whole time. I'm like, oh, why are you on the show if you can't handle it? So,
right.
Yeah. Says it's kind of hypocritical, but
yeah. All right. Last question, and then we'll tease the next season that we're going into. Obviously, how did this season contribute to the evolution of Survivor as we know it?
I mean, again, I think it's one of those power shift seasons, right? So like the first season you get the strategy of making the alliance, and the alliance sticks together, right? So you don't have what Survivor thought they were making, which is a survival show, and like the person who survives the weakest gets voted out. Like, it's a strategy show. And so like that is huge. But I think this is another, like, we're starting to see, like, you don't have to make your alliance with your starting tribe on day one and stick with them. Like there can be power shifts. You can, and like, expect the unexpected. Like, be on your toes, be ready. Like, because what if this person comes back? Like, you can't,
Right.
so you have to be a little more sneaky, a little more like, you can't just play the good, honest game. You can't just be the hero. So I think it's just more of that. It's just like furthering that along.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Adrian?
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I feel like it's just, I don't know, nothing else to add. I feel like Kevin covered it.
Yeah, I think, as Kevin said, like, the power shift, it continued evolving what Amazon did before Marquesas. Like, without those, we wouldn't have this fluid gameplay, but this further evolved it. And you're also going to get set up for heroes and villains. I really feel like this season really kicked that off. That
Yeah,
you're
I was
going to
just
get,
thinking that it's kind of like a heroes versus villains season without being called that.
yeah, like you're setting up one of the most popular players of all time. You're setting up one of the biggest villains of all time. Like, I just think, like, this season, without this season, we wouldn't have later on these rivalries, these heroes versus villains matchups. And so I'll always be grateful to this season for that.
Can you imagine, like, people being as villainous as they would be later on if it wasn't for Johnny Fairplay making the dead grandma lie? Like, no,
Fairplay made it what it was. Like,
right, like, you're allowed to be as evil as you want to be because you didn't say your grandma died. Like,
or like as heroic as Rupert, who just like wears his heart on his sleeve and is like, it hurt my feelings when you made fun of me wearing my dress. Like,
right. Rupert, who literally went out into the ocean and found it, like, talk about finding a needle, literally found the spear, like the not the hook, but like the head of the spear. Like, this is the most heroic man who has ever been on TV. It's amazing.
Yeah, absolutely. And then you get one of the lippiest players of all time in Sandra. So, like, all right, that's the end of Pearl Islands. And next week we're going to go to a little bit more of a negative season, and but it's one that provided us with the biggest, most memorable couple in reality TV history, with Boston Rob and Amber. We're going to All Stars, so
let's get all started.
Yeah. Get your game on and go play, or at least for some people that wanted to do that and then didn't get the chance to. But
listen, I need you children to know, when we found out it was All Stars, collective shit our pants. This was everything that we wanted. We wanted All Stars so badly, and we got it, and it was glorious. And I don't care if the season didn't play out as well as we wanted it to play out. It was glorious that it happened.
Yeah, so we're gonna have Jonathan is gonna join us for that one, and Shane and Coach Drew. So that's gonna be the panel. Yeah, so they're gonna be talking about All Stars, about who was in the who was rumored to be cast for it and everything.
I don't usually do spoilers. I was on every, like, dial-up internet speed website I could find to try to figure out who was going to be on this, and so excited. I loved it. I don't care this. I loved it.
Yeah.
I don't want to rewatch it because I don't want to look back not fondly on it. I love it.
Yeah. Well, with that is the end of it. So subscribe, like, share, comment.
Comment, subscribe. Do you agree with me that Lil deserves some credit, or do you agree with the rest of the world that she does not?
Yeah. Tell us your thoughts. Defend Lil.
You don't have to say she deserves a ton. You don't have to say that she deserved to win. I'm not saying she deserved to win. I think sometimes we remember her as being the worst, and I don't think she's the worst. I think she's just annoying.
Yeah. Well,
do you agree with me? Tell us below.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you below.
Yeah. Otherwise, praise Rupert, hate Johnny Fairplay, do whatever you feel you need to do in the comments for this season. And yeah, we'll see you all next time on the Tribe of Nerds. Wow.